Go. Well, hey everybody. Let me get the video preview went away. That's fine. Hey, it's Monday. It's time for the joy of coding here at Portland State University. Tonight we'll be talking about Project 5, the REST API project. We will be looking at the code. We will be refactoring, kind of re-architecting the code to be a more along the lines of a phone bill application. My intent is that, really tonight gets everybody ready to do Project 5. Hopefully over the weekend you were able to catch your breath, either catch up in this course or to get ahead maybe in your other work, or maybe just enjoy a quiet rainy weekend to yourself, let your brain expand for a little while we gear up for the rest of the course. And just to give us an idea of what's left, we've got two more mobbing sessions. So this Wednesday we'll be here in person again. Next Wednesday on March 4th, it'll be our third and final mob program activity. You can be here in the classroom or you can be remote to experience that. And in between now and then, we'll be focusing on the final topic in the course, which is building an Android application. So a week from tonight, we will install the tools that are needed to build an Android application. We'll create our first project, and that's we'll create our Android project. That's only one of them. We'll create our Android project using Android Studio, and we'll start seeing that. Much like we did when we created Project 5, I encourage everybody to sort of play along at home in real time to make sure that your environment can run Android. I will say that while the vast majority of students have been able to work with Android without any issue, there have been some students that have environments that make it challenging, either kind of an old or slow development machine, or if someone's running like an esoteric version of Linux or whatever, the Android tools might not work. So if there are any issues, we want to smoke them out really early. So I do encourage everybody, even if you're not going to be starting, your own work on the Android project, make sure that you can at least get off the ground with the tools. And then we will spend some time refactoring and evolving it, having to do some stuff as it's a way of learning about Android and what you can do with it. And then on March 11th, I don't really have anything planned. We'll finalize everything next week or even the week after. No, we'll finalize everything next week. But if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, anything that I can either do extemporaneously, or if you'd like me to select some, old lectures that I can, take out of the attic and talk about, that'd be cool. Or if, we want to play around with what AI might be able to do for us, happy to do that too. So anyway, so we'll have, or, just have a class review, although, hey, if you don't know this stuff by now, there's other than just sort of like taking Q&A, I don't know what else we can learn or teach each other, but we'll find out. And then March 16th, which is 3 weeks from tonight. Yeah, not too much time left in the course. Will be the final exam. And so then we'll take it here in the classroom in person. Um, yeah, and I'll talk more about the details of that in the coming weeks. And then that's it for us meeting. And then all remaining coursework is due on March 18th. And that'll be it. So yeah, not too much more time left in the course. Hopefully, we're getting to the interesting stuff and the most interesting stuff. I hope it's all been interesting. But yeah, that's what's left. So what else can I tell you though? Well, we're starting a new week. I think a couple of people have started poking at Project 5. Is there anything on your mind? Share anything you'd like to ask me? Anything that I can tell you about what's going on in the course? Oops, what's all this? Mhm. Yep. Okay then. Awesome. Okay, let's dive into it. Okay. So, gosh, there wasn't, I didn't see a lot of reaction or interaction on Slack. So yesterday, I want to say around noon, I posted a link to a bonus lecture that I put together. I hope people had a chance to at least see that or acknowledge it. What I did during that screencast is I walked through the testing strategy for Project 5, which is a little different, because for there, these unit tests that use the Mockito API to mock out these objects that are passed to your servlet. And this allows you to have true unit tests for your servlet. It's a pure Java code, all runs in one process, no dependencies on a web container or anything like that. Um, Kind of advanced stuff. Hopefully you've watched the testing with mocks lectured and sort of gotten a feel for what it is. If you haven't had a chance to review the screencast I put together yesterday, I highly recommend that you do that. It'll give you a lot more context for what you're going to see tonight, and then also context for writing your own unit tests for Project 5, which you'll need to do. So, just like with the first four projects, there is a code coverage requirement for Project 5, and maybe you could get that just with your integration tests, but certainly, you'll want to have unit tests also. So, and actually, before I start diving into the refactoring, now that I've mentioned that, um, are there any leftover issues or questions from the screencast or anything else about Project 5 that we can discuss before we really dive into changing and making something different? Okay. Okay. Well, so let's take another look at sort of remind ourselves what we're doing here with the REST project. So, I always go back to this picture because this is how I think of all the pieces, parts, and how they connect in the project. Let's make it a little bigger. Why not? I'll get chat. So out of the box, we get these classes that are called phone bill, but they implement this dictionary application. And as you'll recall, oops, let's see here, Jenny. Yeah. So when you run the web container, it'll serve up content on port 8080, and is that right? Yeah. And you can use the command line tool to interact with it, and you can do things like query the contents of the dictionary. And there are these classes that basically use code that kind of looks like yours to send data back and forth. The whole idea is that you're modeling a dictionary, which is just a map of strings, and then you have a text format that's sent from the server to the client, and then the client will use a text parser to parse that to get the map, and then it can pretty print it. So I think text parsing and pretty printing are all familiar topics to you by now. But what comes out of the box is an application that does that for this dictionary. And what I want to do now is start updating the project to look a lot more like phone bills. And I think what this will do is sort of I'll give you a head start, but also be a good way to explore what's like really going on here in practice. So, let's go back to the assignment and let's see here. Let's go back to the requirements for the API. So that's this up here. Okay. So ultimately, we have the phone bill slash calls URL, which already exists. So out of the box is phone bills calls slash calls. But instead of let's see here. So like when we want a word, let's see here. What did I put in there? Right. So like when I ask for a word, it has a parameter called word, and that's the word that you're get the definition of. And that doesn't match what's in the assignment. The assignment wants to have a customer that has a name. And boy, you'll have begin and end times. And then when it comes to the post, it has customer and caller, where out of the box, the application has a word and a definition. So what we're going to do tonight is change some stuff about the servlet and then change some stuff about the application to start using phone bill and phone call classes instead of just this map of strings. And then hopefully that sort of, gives you and along the way, we'll be updating the unit tests and the integration tests to have a phone bill application to work actually sort of speak the language of a phone bill as opposed to speaking the language of a dictionary. Okay. So let's see here. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename a bunch of stuff to start looking more like the phone bill. So like that parameter there. So instead of word, I'll just have I'll have customer. And yeah. So let's see here. So in my phone bill servlet, let's go to the servlet. We got the word parameter and the definition parameter. Well, we're going to change word parameter to be customer parameter. So I'm going to do refactor rename, which is Shift F6 for me. And I'm going to call it customer parameter. It's going to change in a bunch of places, and I want to change the value here to be customer. And well, let's see here. I just changed that. So I'm just going to run the unit test from IntelliJ here, see, just to make sure that all makes sense. Great. Yeah, I should probably rename some of this stuff here too. So I'm going to rename this to be initially server contains no phone bills. And add one word to dictionary. Eventually, this is going to be I guess it needs to be a call. So yeah, so add one call to a phone call. Let's just be verbose here to phone bill. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to map, the out of the dictionary application to the phone bill application. And so then this is actually helping me sort of understand what I need these tests to do and sort of what they'll look like. Oh, look, and here's, instead of word, we'll just have customer name. Oops. We'll have customer name. And then let's call this customer, I guess. And let's see here. In definition, so the definition, it's not going to be so much the definition as it's going to be, I guess, some aspect of the phone call that's added. And let's just choose the caller number. Sure. Yeah, that's one aspect of the phone call. And so then caller number, and then we'll just do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. And I guess also we should rename this definition parameter to be the caller number parameter. Cool. But the rest of the stuff is all the same. I think it is. Well, let's see here. So what we're going to do is we create our mock objects and we are sort of training it to behave the way that we want. And then we call do post. And then we expect that there's a value of 200 return and that, oh, look at that, get servlet.get definition of customer name equals caller number. So this actually isn't going to be get definition anymore. This is going to be get phone bill. Yeah. Because the customer name, we're going to look up the phone bill for it. Yeah. And obviously we're going to have to, I gotta say phone bill. Yeah. What customer name should be. Now notice I just renamed it. So right now, I mean, this thing still returns a string. So, we're going to be in kind of a weird in-between state for a while. This all looks pretty reasonable. I'm not too sure about this whole defined word as, but we we can figure that out later. Okay, so now if I run this test again, that's good. Um, what about the other tests? Actually, I'm just going to run from the command line just to figure this out because oops, all sorts of things might break. So I'm just going to run a clean verify, see what that does. Okay, that's still successful. That's cool. So I'm sort of like playing around right now, right? So we're just, renaming. These are all safe, renames. That's not going to be customer anymore. I think it's going to be caller number. Yep, caller number. Caller number. Okay. Okay. So then I'm just gonna one test one more time. Maybe will I? Nah. I'm gonna commit this. I'm gonna say begin. What are these two unversion files? Nothing of note. Begin refactoring dictionary application into phone bill. Push that stuff up. Yes, please. So let's see, we've got a customer and we've got a caller number. And, all of these, yeah. So, like, I'm looking at this thing right here, and it's like my dictionary, this is something that's going to change. And the data that I'm going to be storing here in the phone bill servlet is going to be a bunch of phone bills, right? So just like in Project 4, there are multiple phone bills that are being managed here, although they're all stored in memory. There's, no persistence behind, no file-based persistence behind them, which is fine. So I think one of the things I want to do next is I want to start using phone bill and phone call classes here. I think I'm ready for that. So let's just start renaming some more things. We're going to call this phone bills here. And now this isn't going to be a string anymore. I want this to be a map of string of the name of the phone bill to the phone bill object itself. Okay, and now I'm going to have to create the phone bill class. Now, for you all, you've done it already. So you can just copy yours in from Project 4, but now I want to create my own. I don't want to use the one from the other project. I'm going to put that in here. Yes, please add it to Git. Okay. So extends abstract phone bill of a phone bill. Great. And so now I'm going to implement the methods. Good, good, good. And now phone bill. Oops. Create test seal class. That's not what I want. What does it complain about? Well, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. It should be a phone call, shouldn't it? Yeah. That's good. And now I will create the class phone call in that same package. Extends abstract phone call. And I'm going to implement the methods. There'll be more to fill in there, but we'll sort of do it as we need to. And now this should be a collection of phone calls. Phone calls. And then there should be a phone call also. Okay, it's happier now. That's happy. That's good. Okay, so I've got those classes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll need to fill them out, but let's let the unit test be our guide here. Now I changed this thing, and so now there are a bunch of errors here. So then let's start fixing things. So things are gonna be broken for a little while, and we'll start fixing them. I'm gonna use F2 to go to the next error. Okay, so this is in the do post method. And oh yeah, it looks like we need to rename some stuff here. So then this is not going to be the word anymore. This is going to be the customer name. And this is going to be the definition anymore. This is going to be the caller number. Okay, but all this other stuff, checking from required parameters is good. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now phone bills, we're going to put the customer name, the caller number. That's not exactly right. So what we're going to need to do is get or create a phone bill for that customer name and then add a new phone call to it. So, okay. So then, you can probably imagine how to do all of that. So let's see here. We're going to get a phone call, or sorry, we're going to phone bill. That's not exactly what I want. Can I do this dot phone bills dot compute if absent? Yeah, that's what I want. So customer name, and it'll create a new phone bill. That's what I want. But here I want to create that constructor. So this will be customer name. That's good. So I mean, can you imagine what this does, right? This is a method on map that I'll say, hey, listen, if there isn't already an entry for customer name, then well, do whatever, you invoke the method here, and it basically says, hey, create a new phone bill passing the customer name to it. It's this nice little like factory method for phone bills. And this way, you don't need to worry about null checks or like, oh, hey, does the phone bill already exist? It takes care of all of that for you. Great. So now we've got the phone bills and we don't need this put anymore because it's actually already there. And instead, what we need to do is we need to make a new phone call and add to the phone bill. So phone call equals new phone call. And we'll just pass in the caller name or caller number. We'll have to create that constructor too. Great. And then we'll say phone bill dot add phone call. Nice. Okay, so good. That creates so that populates that phone bills map. And let's see here, and it'll create a new phone call and add it to it. So I think that's good. Let's see here. I'm gonna go to the next error. I'm sure there's more. Okay, here's right definition. So that's interesting. So this thing, where is this used exactly? What is this? This is invoked when Oh, okay, this is invoked when from a get method where the customer name is provided. And so let's just make sure it actually exists. Yeah, I guess that would just be this right here. Great. So it returns all the phone calls using the text dumper. And okay. So yeah, that's what this is now. So this isn't so much like right definition as it is sort of right phone bill text. Maybe that's a better name for it. Right? Phone bill text. And it's not word anymore. It is that'd be customer name. Okay. So now I think we go back here. There's still an error though. Okay, great. So here, okay, this is where we get the phone bill. Yeah, so then this will be customer name, code occurrences, customer name. Now here, oh yeah, okay. So now, so this isn't going to be definition anymore. This is going to be phone bill. And here it's not going to be a string anymore. It's going to be a phone bill. Nice. Okay. And so if you try to look up a phone bill that doesn't exist, it's going to be null. And then we're going to return a 404. That's a 404, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's still good. Otherwise, what are we going to do? We are going to, oh, okay, right. So we're going to get a text dumper and we're going to dump, well, not so much the word definition, we're going to dump the phone bill. So actually this gets a little simpler, I think. So, okay, so this is where we got to change our text dumper. Okay. So I don't need this thing anymore. I don't even remember why I had it there in the first place. Um, Oh, what function did write phone bill text replace? I think it was called like write definition or something. Yeah, write definition is what that thing used to be called. Thanks for asking. Okay, so now we're just going to dump the phone bill. Oops, the one phone bill. Nice. Okay. And so then, okay, now it's time to like go fix our text dumper class. Okay, so now we want our text dumper to implement phone bill dumper. Oops. Phone bill dumper of a phone bill. And now it needs to override, it needs to implement that class. Okay. Well, let's just let's do that. Oops, that was weird. Yeah, so we're gonna need like actually let's start with this. And instead of doing that, we're just going to what? We'll just write information about the phone bill. So we will say pw.println bill dot get customer name, get customer, and then I guess we'll dump out all of the calls in the phone bill. So oops. So we'll say um bill dot get phone calls for each, sure. And let's just say dump phone call. We'll create that method. Oh, I think I need to pass in the pretty printer. You know what? Let's not. Never mind. Let's just be simple here and make it understand. Um, so I don't need to do all that. And so we'll say pw.println, we'll say phone call dot get caller. That's like the one thing that we've got so far. Okay, nice. And so then this method, does anybody still call this method? Oh yeah, yeah. Write all dictionary entries. I don't think we need this anymore because there's no API that's going to write all of the phone bills. Right. Yeah. So we only have this. So we don't need this code anymore. This was neat in the beginning, but we don't need it anymore. Okay, so let's go find where this guy's called. Oh, right. This guy is called here. So if the customer name isn't specified, then we need to say like missing parameter, which we probably have an example of how to do that in the post method. Oh yeah, missing required parameter. Nice. Okay, so it'll be this thing. Actually, it'll be this code right here. No, we don't need the right. Good. Okay, so now that's there. Now if we go back, let's go find that write all dictionaries. Oops, write all dictionary entry. Aha, I notice it's grayed out because no one's calling it anymore. And so I can just say safe delete and poof, it's all gone. Good, good, good. And now actually, if I go back to my text dumper, um, oh yeah, no, is this method still called someplace? Oh, it is. Oh, it's called in the tests. Oh, interesting. Oh, there's a text dumper parser text. Okay, we should get that working too. Actually, we should probably get that working first. This is good. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember what we need to do here. And one of the things like when you're refactoring like this, we're gonna go a long time without stuff working, and that's okay, right? Because we're making some pretty big changes. Okay, so now I think what I want to do is I want to change this text number parser test, great, to start working with phone bills, just so I can make sure that my parser and my dumper work. You've already done this though. You did this in project two, so I'll try to go pretty fast here and make all of this work. So basically, I need to change all of these maps, yeah, into phone bills and stuff. Let's see here. Empty map can be dumped and parsed. What would that even be mean? That would be like an empty phone bill? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Okay, so I'll rename this to empty phone bill. Can be dumped and parsed. So we don't need to get a general get for phone bills like there was for dictionary entries. Correct. Yeah, yes, Stephen, you are correct. There's not like get me all of the phone bills. It's just you always have to ask for one. So this one will just be a phone bill. And then instead of this, we'll have new phone bill, and then we'll have some customer name. What is that? And we'll create a local variable there equals test customer. And then we're going to make this phone bill too. And this won't be a map anymore. This will be a phone bill. And well, we're not going to say that. Let's see here. Red equals customer name. That's what we expect. Okay, so now parse and dump needs to be changed to use phone bills. Phone bill in and phone bill here. And then we're going to rename this bill. And then, okay, dumper. Oh, might throw an IO exception. Well, that's interesting. Sure, I'll believe that. Okay, so now we got, oh, or should I have it catch that? Well, whatever. I don't care at this point. Okay, cool. And now, okay, we need to fix our text parser then to return a phone bill. Let's see here, make that return. Well, I'll just go and fix it over here. Okay, implements phone bill parser. Great of a phone bill. And here, and again, I'll just do what I did there. No, maybe it won't. Okay, so now this guy will return a phone bill. So I'm basically doing your like project two for you. And then, oh, what does it complain about? No annotation, so add that annotation. I'm not going to need that regular expression anymore. I'm not going to need that thing anymore. Okay, so now I'm just going to like get rid of all this stuff. Yeah. Um, okay, so it's got to return. Yeah. Okay, nice. So, okay, so I read each line. Now, the first line is going to be the customer name. So, yeah, so phone bill. I'm not gonna, let's see here. Do I need to sign? I think I might need to sign it null. Okay, so yes, if phone bill equals null, then yep, a new phone bill line. Otherwise, um, well, otherwise it's going to be a new phone call. And of course, this is yeah, it's caller number. And then no. It's like so close, but so far. It's like, no, stop that. I deleted you once already. There you go. And now, yeah, add that. Okay, I don't need to trim, no, do I need to trim the line. I guess it's fine either way. Nice. And so I think that'll parse it correctly, right? So if it hasn't created a phone bill yet, all otherwise it's there's only one other thing on the line and just create a phone call and add it. Okay, and now it's going to complain that, yeah, that and so now it's complaining that there isn't a return or return statement. So if I get down here, oh, actually, once I've gone through all this, then I want to return the phone bill. And oh, it's happy now? Oh, because phone bill is yeah. Okay, returns null if we can't parse it, but yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so it's got two related problems. Okay, so let's see here. Get all dictionary entries. This is not interesting anymore. So this guy can go away. So where is this guy used? Oh, all over the place. I'm just going to what am I gonna do? Kind of don't want to, right? It's like, oh, I just want to get something so I can run those unit tests and sort of like make sure that my parsing logic works. So I am going to, I'm just going to basically throw it on it. Throw, oops, throw new unsupported operating exception. Not, no, it's not going to be able. So, okay, and then this one, get definition. Okay, this one is more interesting. So here, yeah, it's going to parse. Just for the moment, I'm going to have it just say return customer. Because eventually this will, well, actually, eventually I want to change. This is client side code. Eventually, I want to rename all of this to be phone bills and phone calls too. But I'm not quite ready for that yet. Okay. I've completely lost track of where I am. So then I don't know what compiles and what doesn't. Let's just go back to, let's just try to build the code and see what happens. So can I even run the phone bill servlet test? Actually, this phone bill servlet test is not what I want. I want the text parser dumper test. This is the thing I'm trying to get working because I'm just implementing a quick and dirty text parser. Okay, good. And the stuff doesn't compile still, no problem there. Get phone bill. Oh yeah, all right, this one. So okay, this one now I need to, this is gonna be word is going to be customer name. This is back in the servlet. And now this thing it needs to return a phone bill. And where is it called? Okay, this is, oh yeah. Dot get customer. No, wait. Okay, this one I gotta, okay, this one then, okay, we gotta change this to be, I'm gonna extract this into a variable. Actually, if I just hover over it, I can say, oops, I can say extract variable, and it's gonna be the phone bill. So we're gonna assert that phone bill, not null value. We're gonna import that. Then we're going to get the one phone call from it. Phone call is phone ball. Yep, it's the first one. That's cool. And then we're going to assert that call dot get caller is the caller number. And this is what you do when you refactor, right? Okay, all of a sudden, there's the methods do more things. You're working with stuff, and it's all a valid test, right? Actually, remember we renamed this one add one phone call to phone bill. So now when we go and we get it, it returns that. Well, meanwhile, I'm still trying to get my number parser test to work here. Okay, so do things build now? Nope. Got one more. Oh, yeah, this is the second one. This is one where this was empty, and this is one that'll have one phone call. Okay. Um, we're just gonna rename this we're gonna call this phone bill with one phone call can be dumped and parsed. And we're gonna rewrite this one a little bit. I'm just gonna comment out for the time being. Okay, one more. Can I build? Okay, now I can build. Now can I run everything? I did and it failed. It says this method is not implemented yet. Yeah, okay, right. This is where like we haven't yeah, okay. So I think one of the things I can do here is I can say create field. Great. Okay. And this dot customer name and more stuff. Oops, return. Insert return. Thank you. This is going to fail in a different way next. This method is not implemented yet. Phone bill. Oh yeah, get phone calls. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and say return this dot calls. We'll create a field. We will initialize it to be a new array list, and we will make it final. And while we're here, let's also add the phone call just to save us another embarrassing red. Hey, okay, good. So that passes, which means that I can parse an empty phone, yeah, parse an empty phone bill. I can parse, I can dump and parse an empty phone bill. Let's add one with one phone call. Also, a question. Should we allow phone calls to be initialized with just a caller number? I'm assuming right now it only needs to be caller number since you're creating from scratch. But I can double check. You're absolutely right, Yelena. Yeah, this is just a temporary thing. Obviously, I'm not going to implement the whole damn thing for you tonight. I'm going to do just enough so that you can sort of get the gist of it. And so I think, yeah, you've already got it. So like, yep, when you all do it, yep, you can make the call about whether or not you want to leave it in sort of a temporary broken state while you go slowly, or whether you sort of understand the patterns enough where it's like, great, I can take all the parameters in and figure out how to populate my phone bill and phone calls with that. Great. Thanks for asking that. Okay, so we'll do this again. And now we want to get a phone call in there too. So we will have caller number. Great. And then phone bill dot add phone call, new phone call with the caller number. Okay, and so then we create our test data, we dump and parse, we get the phone bill. And we should probably also assert that it's not not null, whatever. Okay, so the customer is there, and then we will also say assert sure. Yeah, I like that. Okay, thanks AI. You got it right this time. Now let's run it again and see if it passes. I think it should. Oh, I guess it shouldn't. Oh, something get caller isn't implemented yet. Oh yeah, get caller isn't implemented yet. Okay, do the same thing where we'll add a field here and we will, oops, we will delete too much. and we will make it final. Oops, what did I just do there? That's not what I wanted. It is final already. There's a question that came in. Is having the existing text parse and text dumper classes with keeping dictionary logic, refactoring that to be string of phone bill work. Yes. Yeah, yeah, make a very good point, Stephen. So I'm doing all this right now because I don't have an existing implementation of text dumper and text parser, but I want one that works, so I want to make sure the test is passing. So you shouldn't have to do this, right? You should already have a working text dumper and text parser. I'm here just, doing all this stuff quickly just so that I can get a foundation to build upon. Okay, but maybe there's more to the question. We can overload dump to take a phone bill as usual, but also making it dump a map. No, no, no. You don't need the map. Get rid of the map. So like yeah. Um, you know, I don't know if the dictionary method would make sense. I'll let it be up to you though. If it does make sense and it makes your program work and make work better, all the more power to you. But my intention is just to throw all that stuff away because we don't really need it anymore. Good. That passes. Okay, I'm feeling confident about my text dumper and text parser. I'm gonna check that in. Adjusted the text parser, oops, and text dumper to use phone bills. Use a phone bill, I guess. Okay, nice. Now, other things are still broken, I think. I'm sure they are. So, okay, so my text dumper works, but let's go back to my servlet test. Let's see how this guy's doing. Failures all over the place. What doesn't it like? Okay. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so here we have, yeah, let's see here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So then this one, server contains no phone bills. Yeah, this one isn't so interesting anymore because actually, I guess it should get a, what does it even do? Oh, yeah, yeah. It doesn't set any parameters. So this one actually should get a 412. So then, let's see here. Uh, say customer name is required parameter. And so no customer name. And then we should also say this is SC 412. I don't remember the code for it. What is 412? 410, 411, 421. Uh, where was it? Thank you. Precondition failed. Okay, so run this guy again. Oops, still doesn't like it. One not invoked. Oh, and it's got like an error message. Okay. So it should be the set status with this and then any string. Is that going to work? Oh, no, what doesn't it like? Spit under. Oh, send to error. That's why. Okay, and I think this is going to fail in a way that is demonstrative. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Um, One of the things about Mockito is that if any of the parameters here in a verify is like one of their matchers, like any string, all of them have to be matchers. So you need to put an EQ around this. Just the way it works. There we go. Nice. Okay. And wait, this one worked also. So here, okay, when we, oops, I'm away. Okay, so then here where we actually, yeah, we create one, it appears to work. So if we post and it populates it, it gets an SCOK and the phone bill has been populated. Nice. Okay. That's actually pretty good. I wonder what else fails. Let's run all the tests from the command line and see what happens. Okay. The phone bill REST client test. Okay, so yeah, let's check in what we've got now and got the phone bill servlet test working with phone bill class. So let's take a look at the client. So we changed all of the language on the server side. Let's take a look at the client side now and start figuring out what's what. So this would be the phone bill REST client test. Phone bill REST client test. Okay. Get all dictionary parameters, perform HTTP get with no parameters. Well, this isn't exactly what we want anymore. Actually, is this an interesting test? What we want to say, so instead of all dictionary entries, I guess we want to, okay, good. This is cool. So now we're going to look at a phone bill REST client and we're going to turn it into a phone bill application instead of dictionary language. Okay, so here I don't think we want get all dictionary entries. This thing doesn't make any sense anymore, right? This is the thing that we eliminated on the server side. So instead, what we want to do is we want to say, well, I guess get phone bill. Yeah, so it'll be, get phone bill with wait a second, what was that called before? Performs. Okay, so get phone bill. Right. And so then it's going to be it's going to be call with phone with customer name parameter. Yeah. Okay. So then here we're going to, yeah, we're going to create, so our data for the test. So this was an interesting test where basically, go back to the screencast from yesterday, but like I use, Mockito to basically mock out the HTTP request response to say, hey, listen, when we get an empty map, then return wherever that dictionary was. But now it's going to be, we want to not return a dictionary, we want to return not a dictionary as text, it's going to be phone bill as text. So we want a phone bill with, we don't want a mock, we want a real one here. And with the customer name. Whoops, what do you mean? What? Oh, customer name doesn't exist. Okay, duh. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, we need to rename some stuff. This is not going to be dictionary as text. It's going to be phone bill as text. And then, oh, I should have. Oh, wait a second. Whatever. I was going to rename it, but it's good. Okay. And then change first argument from map to phone bill. This is going to be a phone bill now. And then here, great text editor. Right, right. Oh, what doesn't it like? Oh, wait. Why doesn't it like this dump anymore? Because it throws an exception. Okay. So basically now what we're doing is we're using text dumper and we're going to dump it as yep, as the phone bill. It's going to return that text. Okay. And so now when I'm going to fake it out. So I'm going to say when get is invoked with a map of the servlet parameters. So that's phone bill servlet dot customer parameter and a value of customer name. So like basically I'm mocking out the behavior of the REST API, which would be like, hey, listen, when it's called with one parameter, then return the text from the test phone bill. And this is the cool thing about mocking, right? Is that there's no server involved. Just sort of like, oh yeah, this is what I expect from the server, so I'll just create a mock object to do that. And now, when I call, and I don't want to do get all dictionary entries. I want to say, actually, it's probably get definition that ends up getting, yeah, renamed from that. So the definition of the customer name. And this is not get definition anymore. This is going to be get phone bill. And I'm going to put this, yeah, I'm going to put this into what am I doing here? I'm going to put this into a variable. I'm going to call it, yeah, yeah, phone bill one. I don't like that. I'm going to say, oh, actually, I can inline this. I don't really, I only need this in one place, so I don't know, maybe we'll see if it reads easier if I say refactor inline, which basically puts, gets rid of that variable declaration and puts it over here. I don't know, not super beautiful, but it'll work. Actually, if I move that over there, now I can see the whole thing. That makes me happier. Okay, great. So now I don't have a dictionary variable anymore, so I can use this. I'm sorry, I don't have a phone bill variable anymore, so I can use that as the phone bill. And now I'm going to say assert that this is not null, not null value. And then we'll just do the thing that says assert that phone bill, no, get, oops, get customer. Oops, what's going wrong there? Oh, it's a string. That's why. This is going to be a phone bill now. And then phone bill dot get customer equal to customer. So yeah, I am changing this test quite a bit, but so I need to get rid of the old one. Yeah. Now here I can say make get phone bill, return a phone bill. Nice. That's what I want. Okay, so I think this test is right. Things still aren't going to compile though. So let's go into the get phone bill. Now I changed this guy a lot. So it doesn't take a word anymore. It takes a customer name. And oops, stop. I want to say this is going to be all the code occurrences. I'm going to say customer name. It invokes HTTP with a map of customer name to parameter with the parameter to the customer name, which is good, which is what I want. And now I don't, oh yeah, I changed this code before. Now I just get rid of this, and I think that's okay. So what does this do? It goes and calls does the HTTP get? And what does the HTTP get return? Well, now it returns like the text representation of a phone bill. Cool. This is all dealing with text, doesn't really know. And so then it goes, make sure the response is okay, and then it creates a text parser that will parse basically the content of the response, and then it calls the parse method, which will return the phone bill. So actually that's pretty good. It's got two related problems. Oh, here we are in the REST, okay, the integration test and the main. Yeah, I'm going to fix these. What is this going to take to fix? No, if I'm just going to comment this out for the time being. Am I? Nah, I don't know. I'm just going to call it phone bill, and it's going to fail, but that's okay. I kind of want it to fail because I want to see it fail. This thing, on the other hand, if definition doesn't equal null, then print all the dictionary entries. Well, then this becomes print. Um, oh, this becomes print the phone bill, which we'll fix up later. And then I'm just going to throw unsupported operating exception. Oops, and say not implemented yet. I'm going to throw a new one now, so it compiles, and we'll figure out how to pre-print it later. And then does this otherwise compile? Yes, it looks like it does. So, okay, this is good. Okay, we were working on the phone bill REST client test, and let's see if this runs anymore. Oh, that passed. Okay, that's always a good sign. I guess I'm not terribly surprised by that because we had everything implemented in, well, we had gone through and updated the REST client to work. So that's good. Okay, let's run let's run this again and see if all the unit tests pass now. Nope. What fails? Oh no, the integration tests. Okay, great. Okay, this is good. So all the unit tests pass now. Actually, I want to make sure. I want to see it pass myself. I'm just going to go IntelliJ here and run all the tests in this package. Sweet, they do. Okay, good. All of the unit tests to pass. I'm very proud of myself. I put an exclamation point on my commit message. Okay. Nice. Now let's look at the integration test. Now remember what the integration tests do. The integration tests run against a live and running Jetty, right? And so then, yeah. And so then, okay, we changed some stuff about the phone bill client, but it doesn't, but like, yeah, we know that there are like bugs and stuff like that in the main, and we need to go adjust a bunch of terminology and stuff like that. Cool. So we got the unit test running. So we'll poll the audience. So it's 6:25, been going for almost an hour now. Do you want a little break? Or do you want to plow through and get out a little bit earlier? Good for continuing. Okay, well, if I start to hear snoring, then we'll break. Yeah, let's see if we can get through, maybe get out of here a little bit earlier tonight. Okay. Yeah.
For the actual project five assignment, they didn't specify whether this was the case or not, but I just wanted to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Uh, do you want us to use HTTP code checks? Like, is it, if it's returning a 500 code versus a 404 code, or just focus on like, is it returning proper strings across?
Oh, excellent. Okay. So your question is related to the HTTP status codes that are returned. Yes, let me think. I'm trying to remember the test cases. I've looked at them in a while. My expectation is that 200 code should only appear when the operation was successful. So as you can see in the servlet, there's like the 412, like when the parameter is missing. And of course, if there's an uncaught exception in the servlet, you'll get a 500 back. And a 404 if you go to ask for a phone bill that doesn't exist, which probably isn't implemented right now. Or maybe it is. I can't remember. You don't want to write a test for it. So I think the answer is yes, I expect that. Now, I don't remember exactly what I don't remember if I have a test for that or not. So then you might get away with it. But I mean, but part of the assignment is yes, you're meant to understand enough. Well, but by test for yeah. So like the servlet ought to return a sensible status code when conditions are not as expected. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's take a look where we are with our failing test here. Okay, so this is the REST client. Okay, let's go back and look at the REST client and just look at the code and figure out what still makes sense here. So phone bill REST client IT. So this again, I go into more details in that lecture I recorded yesterday. But what this thing does is it runs against a Jetty. So you start up the application, and then this thing, this test will run and make actual HTTP calls to it. So let's see here. Oh, look at this. So like remove all dictionary entries. Well, let's change this to be remove all phone bills. And then we'll rename this to be remove all phone bills. And this is just for testing purposes. So there's that, which kind of reminds me that I probably need to go fix that in the servlet also. Um, there you go, phone bill servlet. There's the delete. No, what? There is the delete, do delete. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, I would actually get calls phone bills not clear, so that's cool. Yeah, it's kind of wrong here. Clear off, delete all phone bills. Okay, so that's good. Okay, empty server contains no dictionary entries. What's the equivalent here? I guess we could say empty server contains no phone bills, then we can test to make sure that it gets a 404 if you ask for one. Yeah. Yeah, that one's not so interesting. So I think I'm inclined to just delete this one for now. Okay, this one's more interesting. Test to define one word. So this now becomes create phone call. Okay, and this is where we get so I described yesterday in the screencast that the phone bill REST client is meant to provide a fluent API for the application, which means it sort of speaks the language, it uses the terminology and the type system for uh yeah for the phone bill. So here. Let's just change stuff here. So like instead of taking like a word in a definition, this is going to be instead of add dictionary entries, it's going to be like add phone call. And so instead of the test word, it's going to be the customer name. So this is going to be a customer name. That'll be customer. And then here, I want this thing to take a phone call. Yeah, I think I want to take a phone call. So phone call. And let's create a local variable there, and that'll be a phone call. Oops. And then this will be the caller number. And then this will be a new phone call caller number. So, the thing about like the client side is like what are you dealing with in the client application? Well, what you're dealing with is like what's provided on the command line, which is initially a bunch of strings, but hey, let's have the client like use some of the API. So you don't actually pass in like a whole phone bill, but I think it makes sense to pass a phone call over the wire, right? So the phone bill, the client can have an add phone call. So let's see here. We probably need to change this now. Yeah, let's change the second parameter to be a phone call, and we will call it phone call. And there's not the word anymore. This is the customer name. Yeah, refactor that. That's nice. And now here, this is going to be a definition. This is going to be the phone bill that we get back from the client. And we're going to say phone bill dot get customer is going to be not the caller number anymore. It's going to be the customer name. And then we're going to assert that that equals one and that that equals caller number. Good enough. So that's ultimately what we want to do, right? And again, the client API is evolving. Now it's speaking the language of phone bills and phone calls, and so now it's getting us, these objects, and then we just deal with them as objects. And remember the whole idea of the phone bill REST client is that it hides all of the details of doing the HTTP and invoking the REST API and all that stuff. It encapsulates all that information. And this, to me, is meant to demonstrate the single responsibility property of a good object of a good class. It should do one thing and do that thing well. In this case, the phone bill REST client works with the REST API, but using the fluent types of the phone bill application. Okay, nice. Let's see here. And now let's see. Test for empty word throws exception. Well, what would this be? This would be empty word. Yeah, this is like empty, like
Be a 404 if it's for a customer bill that doesn't exist.
wow, but this is add phone call. So this is like adding a phone call with like an empty string or a phone call with an empty.
Could be adding a null value. Phone bill.
Oh yeah, that would be another thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not, yeah,
Yeah,
not literally, like, it would stick some type of irregular value.
yeah. Yeah, so like, yeah, let's make it easy. I mean, you can, because like, for instance, yeah, a good test would be like, hey, make sure that we get oh, it's not force fields, I'm missing parameters, like invalid parameter, whatever that thing is. If we pass in a phone call that, sorry, phone number that doesn't have the right number of digits or something like that, right? Isn't valid phone number, right? Or a date that isn't a valid date. I don't know if we're gonna get to that tonight, but yeah. So maybe in the meantime, I'll just comment. No, I don't really want to comment it out. What do I want to do? I want this to be, yeah. How about empty phone caller number? Oops. Empty caller number throws exception. And yeah, precondition failed. Great. So this will be a valid that, but then this will be a phone call. I can just do that. Oops. Oh, this will be empty string. Yeah. Okay. And then, well, this isn't missing parameter so much as it is. Well, we can fix that later, I guess. Okay. Well, that compiles anyway. I wonder what else doesn't work. Oh, so I'm going to run my Jetty over here in one window. So I could just use, oops. Oh, okay, that juice. Phone bill REST client. Oh, yeah, yeah. Phone bill REST client. What doesn't work over here? Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh yeah, right. Here's where we need to pull apart the phone call and put it on the line. This is cool. Okay, so basically the whole idea is that you post a bunch of strings. So then I need to basically instead of having the phone call here, I'm going to have this be the customer or the caller. Yeah, the caller. Yeah, I'll just do this. Good. That was good. And then oh, there's one other related problem. Oh, okay, yeah, here we go. Now, okay, here we are in the main. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, let's just since we're here. So then this will be well, actually we'll fix it up later. Let's put in a new phone call here. We'll need to come back to this one and make it work. But I have a feeling that the main integration test is going to fail also. That was good. Okay, glad we did that. Let's build it again. Oops. Oh, can't find a simple pretty printer. That's surprising. That's surprising. Why can't I find the pretty printer? Should be right there. Right there. That doesn't seem like the right error message somehow. Well, that's super weird. Why can't it find the... Okay, that's dubious. I'm gonna try running this again. Ooh, look at that. Does thing get messed up with this package? No, it's in the right package. Well, it shouldn't have to import it because it's the same package. So then,
This happened, it wasn't on this IDE, it was on VS Code, but
oh,
somebody
interesting.
did the class path. Maybe.
Maybe just to get confused. I'm just gonna rebuild the whole project, see if that makes a difference. Okay. Um, once more with feeling. Okay, it ran that time. Oh, it's a connection refused because it wasn't running. Well, that would explain it. Yeah, that was weird. I think IntelliJ just slipped a groove. And we'll try running this again and see how it fails. Okay, some stuff passed, which is cool. So I was able to create a phone call. Again, not terribly surprising. We got the unit test running. So okay, it doesn't make and that's terribly surprised that the integration test is found. And here, oh, customer. So oh, interesting. Where is it still finding customer? Or sorry, wait. Oh, required. Oh, is it the customer name? Yeah. So this is the test is wrong here. Yeah, this should be the caller number parameter. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. Oh, neat. That all passed. Okay. Let's see if it passes from Maven. Okay, good. Project 5 IT fails. Okay, let's take a look at the Project 5 now. Okay, but this is good. Okay. So yeah, we're making progress. Got the that was the REST client IT. Yeah. Phone bill REST client IT test pass. And I probably should have been doing this all in a branch or whatever, but because I'm sure my continuous integration is failing left and right, but it's okay. Let's couple more emails to delete. Okay, so where were we? Now we're gonna run Jetty again. Oops. Jetty again. And let's take a look at Project 5 IT. So much stuff needs to change. So we'll just run this and just see. Oh, let's run it, but then we'll go through. Oh, no tests were found because I need to do a clean, I bet. Right? Did I get that thing about, yeah, this thing? Clean without the verify so that we don't have any class files to confuse IntelliJ. We'll run Jetty again. We will run this again. We will run this again. We will run a different test to come back to this one. We will run this test here. Oh, damn it. What's going on? Okay, so maybe I don't want to do this. Need this. I will run a unit test to see if that works. No. Ooh, look at you. Oh, wait, no, could not load class. That's really weird. Usually a Maven clean will take care of that.
Something like this happened.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So I'll just rebuild the project or something. I don't, well, it doesn't have to do with I don't have any changes. No, I think what happens is like IntelliJ just like gets out of sync with something. Yep. Nope. Oh wait, no, no, this is okay. It was green now, so it was happy. Okay. Now I'm going to try running the integration. Project 5 IT. Jetty's not running, so I could have failed spectacularly, but at least it ran. And I'm going to run Jetty again. And I'm going to run this again. Nice. Okay. So, okay, before I want to go look at the tests again, and then we'll come back to see what's failing. Okay, so remove all mappings, then this becomes remove all phone bills. Oops. Remove all phone bills. And that looks pretty good. No command line arguments. That should be about the same. Empty server. So this thing doesn't make any sense anymore. Um, Add definition. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we don't. Yeah. I mean, you could have a test where it's like either missing a parameter or you go and you get you ask for a phone bill. It doesn't exist yet, but for right now, I'm just going to take it out. Okay. No definitions throws appointment book rest exception. So then, oh, okay, this is good. Let's see if we can get this to work. So this isn't no definitions anymore. This is unknown. Sorry, you about to say? Yeah, how about unknown customer? Unknown customer. Throws appointment book rest exception. Okay, so there's another word. Oops. This will be customer name. We'll call it customer. Okay. So we'll pass it in on the command line. And when we do that, we should get a HTTP not found. I don't know if that's going to work or not. It may not. Actually, heck, let's try it. Although, wait, we didn't actually change anything substantive. Although it maybe did pass. It would pass before. Okay. We're just like renaming things so that it makes more sense. Okay. Add definition now becomes add phone call. So I wonder why this thing failed. But, I'm just going to rename it just so we can navigate the code easier. So that's customer name. And this becomes the caller name. Caller, no, sorry, no, the caller number. And we pass all those on the command line. Nothing's returned to standard error. And okay, so maybe that's still a thing. Okay. And then, oh, I think we commented some of this stuff out. That's why it didn't. Oh yeah, yeah. We haven't done the pretty printer yet. We need to do that. Okay, yeah, yeah. So this will be an interesting one to get to work. Okay, so it threw some other exception. Oh, not implemented yet. Well, that would do it. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So let's go back and look at our main method now. Hostname, port name. This is not a word anymore. We're going to change all the code occurrences to be customer name. And the definition is going to be caller name. Caller name. So we'll go through and we'll parse all that stuff. You all know how to parse command lines by now, so nothing big deal there. Blah, 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 blah. Create okay, REST client. Customer name is equal null. Oh, get all dictionary entries. So this should probably go away. We'll come back and fix that later, only if we have a failing test. Okay, so this isn't print all dictionary entries anymore. This is print phone bill. Oops. Yeah, so the caller name, yeah, the caller name equals null. All you're specifying is the name of the customer, then print the phone bill. Okay, so we get the phone bill, and I guess, yeah, what we need to do here is you need to say new pretty printer, and then what's the writer here? This is going to be, I guess, like system.out. Oh no, we're gonna put in that messages. Is that what we're gonna do? Yeah, 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 yeah. Message. Okay. So then, yeah, we're gonna need this. Oh, interesting. What's the pretty? Oh yeah, we have it right here. Okay. It's actually exactly this thing. But now we're going to dump the phone bill. And now we need to fix pretty printer to dump a phone bill. And then so this is going to be implements phone. Okay, sorry. Phone bill dumper of a phone bill. And we'll have this dump a phone bill. Phone bill. Excellent. And we need to make it override. And then, okay, so then here, oh, who cares? We're just going to say, we don't need format word count. We're just going to say phone bill dot, not toString, dot get customer. And then, sure. And then let's just make this easy for, let's see here, phone call. Sure. PC, jeez. Dumb name. Okay, and so then we'll just call, jeez. Nice. Okay, that should be good enough. Okay, so then what's the one related problem? Oh, it's still got this thing right here. So then we don't want any of this anymore. Here, I'll put this thing not implemented yet. Throw unsupported operation exception, missing customer. Sure. Okay, so then here, yeah, we go get the phone call, the phone bill, and then we're going to pretty print it out, and we're going to set to that message. That message is ultimately printed out down here. Okay, so then let's see here. I didn't change any of the code on the server side, so I think if I just run it, it should be okay. Okay, it got something different. Oh, it expected a string containing blah and blah. Oh, it's there twice. That's interesting. Oh, I think it's because I made the test added it twice. Huh. That's okay though. I think all this stuff is still good here. Okay, assert that contains string. Stop that. Just the customer name. Let's just make it easy here. And that also contains the string caller number. Let's run this again. Oh, it doesn't like. Oh, something threw an exception. Unsupported operation. Oh, so it. Oh, I'm surprised it did that. But maybe I'm not surprised it did that. Oh, okay. So it goes and invokes. I guess the whole idea was like, oh, great, it adds one thing to the dictionary and gets that one, gets that one definition, and now it gonna prints them all. This is not valid anymore, which is good. Okay. Yep. I think that whole thing's bogus now. Nice. That one passes. And does everything pass now? So, what's really interesting about this is that because we had all those unit tests, we didn't change anything on the server side. If we made a change to our servlet, which is really, I guess, the only server, or like our text dumper or something like that, um, we would have to, in order to have that change take effect, we would have to restart our Jetty. So this is something that's actually for development is really important to understand. When you're running Jetty and you're running tests against Jetty, or you're just poking at it in the web browser or whatever, if you um if you make a change to the server side code, you've got to stop Jetty and restart it, and it'll rebuild the code for you so that those changes take effect. So if you ever find yourself like, oh, I made some changes and I'm not seeing them or whatever, you might need to restart your Jetty. Yeah. There is a hot reload. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't work for me the last time I tried it. That was like 5 years ago. So maybe it does. Um, it's all, it builds character. I have to know these things. Yeah. Well, it's just being understanding, and it's kind of part of the lesson where it's like, hey, listen, you've got this one build that's just sitting there running still. So even though you're iterating on the client, the server doesn't change. If you need to change the server, you got to know to restart it. Okay, well that's cool. Um, is everything passing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I commented out a lot of stuff. Um, got the rest of the integration tests. Huh. So, in a nutshell, that's oh, yeah, so that's refactoring to make it a little bit more like a phone bill. And so then feel free to like implement these same changes yourself. Hell, feel free to just use my code and just copy that and start from there if you want. I don't know. It's there's some things that are messy in here, so it's all up to you. But that's how you can get started with Project 5. So take what's out of the box. And the reason I do this is because I want to provide a solid foundation for you to build on. When I originally started doing this, people had to start from scratch, and it was really tough for them to sort of get off the ground and figure everything. It's like, okay, that's not effective. So, there's a solid foundation with the dictionary application, which then allowed us to do what we've done in those couple of screencasts. So, whatever, a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the fundamental behavior going back and forth, you could see, you could debug it and you sort of understand all the pieces, parts, how they fit together. And then in that bonus screencast, we learned about the tests, which I'm really glad that I made because there's no way I could have gotten through that and the refactoring tonight. Um, and tonight we refactored all of the code to speak the language of phone bills and use the phone bill types, the phone bill class and the phone call class. Like in our last 5 minutes, is there another test that you'd like to write? Is there maybe something else that you're wondering, like, oh, I wonder how we're supposed to do that in the project? Or hey, is there something that maybe you saw go by that's like, hey, let's see if let's make that work. I was thinking there was a couple of things where it's like, oh, we should tidy that up, but now I don't remember what they were. So I should have written them down. And we could change things like have a better error message here, but you know how to do that on the command line. Is there more in the client we need to change? We were pretty good about that. Oops. Oh, look at this thing. Get all dictionary. Oh yeah, we don't need this anymore. So like let's remove this. Any other warnings we should clean up? HTTP links are not secure. Thank you. That is true. Let's not work with certificates. God, I hate certificates. Okay. Um, anything in the servlet, I wonder. So I guess what would we look for? We would look for like the word. Okay, so then that's not so interesting anymore. I suppose we could just you would have to write realjob.com, of course. I don't. Haha, it's good to be the professor. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Other than like getting everything working, the client and server, they only do like functionality for our phone bill. It's just gonna be like turning certain slots of phone calls
Yeah.
at the begin time.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. I mean, the new piece of functionality is this query that you have to do here, to find all of the phone bills that begin between those two dates. And then return that via the text dumper and then pretty print that. Um, Yeah. And so then, I hope that there's a bunch of this project which feels a little almost wash, rinse, repeat, where it's like, yeah, I've already, written a command line tool. Great, good. That's the whole idea. You should be good at this by now. And then there is just like some plain old logic, what like, implementing the querying. So I don't think there's anything terribly new there, but it's just something you got to do. But then yeah, the new stuff is just really working the with the it's distributed programming, right? You've got two programs that are talking to each other, and that's just like a different dimension of things. Yeah. So then Let me just take one more pass of the code to see if there's anything else that is worth looking at. But anything in the servlet? Yeah. Let's add a date. Customer HP. Yeah. So okay, cool. Well, and so then I hope you've seen tonight is the power of testing, right? It was pretty mechanical, right? All things considered. And the power of refactoring, how IntelliJ, when you want to rename something, it finds all the occurrences for you. And really the only time that code didn't compile was because we changed the types, right? When we had things, something used to return a string and now it returns a phone bill. Okay, we have to fix all that stuff up. And so then really again, I hope this kind of demystifies Project 5 for you so that then you can start digging in. And Project 5 actually isn't due for a little while. So it's not due until March 4th, which is, well, okay. So you've got a week and a half. So maybe it's not that far off. I apologize. But I would do want to make sure to leave plenty of room for Android because not only is that a bunch of new stuff, it's also fun. And those I hope you think it's fun. And so I want to make sure you have plenty of time to do that. Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Days that could start a setup for Project 5 and just kind of went into it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Uh, is
Um, please make yeah, please create the project because the submit program expects it to be phone bill dash web. So you can try to rename the directory, but it's probably safest to start over again. Although, are you finding it okay? I mean, did you get to copy in like all of the the web XML and all that other stuff too?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, it's probably best. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well then. If there isn't anything else, let's call it a night. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back here on Wednesday for another mob programming. Looking forward to that. It'll be another kata, which is again a little bit more. They're getting more interesting now. There's a little bit more logic there, and so I'm curious to see what your experiences are like. Have a good evening, everybody. We'll see you then.
Thank you.